Hello, this is Lynda Light, and welcome to another episode of Sacred Warrior Space. In this episode, it's titled Best Be Prepared, because we are really heading for the public end of things. It's going to be shocking for a lot of people. Not everyone. A lot of us have already prepared ourselves with enough of the so-called conspiracy theories that are now proven to be conspiracy facts. There's so much out there that people were ridiculed for to teach people what the truth is and tell people the truth, what's going on. And now that's all people seem to be demanding is the truth, the truth. That's all we want. And as a collective, we are moving to the precipice of the Great Awakening across the planet. If the Great Awakening hasn't affected or touched you yet in one way, shape, or form, it's just because you don't see it in your own backyard yet doesn't mean it's not going to affect you. It's an energetic thing. It's a multi-dimensional thing. It's an ascension thing. It's an everything thing. It goes beyond just this planet. So you have to zoom out to the 30 or 40 or 50,000 foot view and look back down at the whole picture. There are so many pieces to this puzzle that it's mind-blowing. And what we want to take a look at is being prepared. And with the things that are about to pop off, how do you prepare yourself for truths that you didn't even know existed? Because you may have heard some of these truths before, and I'm not going to get into all of the specific examples here, but if I use something because Spirit wants me to discuss it to make an analogy, I'll bring it up. But the important thing is it's about your belief systems. And if you've had a disbelief in something, you heard something, you said, oh, that's just crazy, and you blew it off. That's a disbelief. I don't believe that. Maybe you didn't want to believe that children were being harmed in the various ways that maybe you've heard over the last couple of years. Maybe you didn't want to believe that. So that's not in your belief system. Maybe you didn't want to believe that there was a world elite ruling the world, a cabal, a deep state, if you will. Maybe you didn't want to believe that. No, that's not possible. How could they possibly rule the whole world? Or maybe you didn't want to believe that these elite were the Nazis, the real Nazis. And maybe you didn't want to believe that we were in a war. And you may have heard different things about the money control system used around the world, the Babylonian. Oh, you didn't want to believe that they were worshiping Satan or Baal or Lucifer or all these things that go against what your belief systems may be. Maybe you didn't want to believe that because it's just too horrific to believe. What if it were true? No, maybe you don't want to believe that you're a slave here, because no, you're free. You can get up and walk out of your place and go get in your car or go hop on a train or go take a bike ride somewhere. You're not a slave. You're free, right? Maybe you don't want to believe that you're actually considered chattel based on your birth certificate, based on a fictitious corporation that was set up so that you could be used and traded on the black market, stock market, exchange as chattel. Maybe you didn't want to believe that. And it's okay. It's okay. Your disbelief in something is what validates, substantiates, or makes more real what your belief systems are. So you form your belief systems based on things that you've been conditioned to believe in. You've been programmed to believe in. And your current belief systems, a lot of them were handed to you as a child. That's when you form your belief systems, or lack thereof, or disbelief in other things. If you believe in one thing, then you don't believe in something else. Let's face it, we're living in duality. This duality reality has everything to do with believe in one thing, don't believe in something else. It's us and them. It's black or white. Okay? Everything is in duality. So I'm going to ask you, like I have been for years through my articles and blogs and videos and teachings. Even in my books, I've asked you many times to just suspend your belief system for just a little while. But not just your beliefs. I'm asking you now to suspend your disbeliefs. If you can do that, you can walk the sacred middle way of just observing and just witnessing. And you can notice when you have an emotional reaction to something. That's called a trigger. And if you have a trigger to something, it may be challenging your belief system. It may be challenging your ability to stretch the realm of possibilities. And maybe you haven't challenged yourself in this area yet. Maybe you need more hard evidence and proof. And I'll use an example for this one. Everybody thought that, President Trump was colluding with the Steele dossier, and he was colluding with Russia and all these things, right? And they've announced, Durham has released indictments, and Sussman and all the people involved with that were liars. They made it up. It was fake, phony, and false. And there's your hardcore evidence now. There's also lawsuits. Trump is suing the Democratic National Convention, campaign party, the Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, and all the people that made up these lies. He's now going after them, which is going to allow for even more evidence to be revealed or released. Oh, yeah, this is false. He doesn't have anything. Yeah, okay. They already unsealed some indictments. You really think the other indictments aren't going to be released? So you have your hardcore evidence is coming forward, but where's the news media? Where are the news media people that were crying that this was all fake, phony, and false before, and it was Russia, 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 and Trump did bad, Orange Man bad? He may not be a perfect man, but he certainly is the perfect man for the job that he's been doing and is still doing, because he took a lot of slings and arrows, didn't he? And like I said, he may not be a perfect person, but who is? Who is? And why do they have to be perfect if they're not a politician and they're business people? Like Trump came in and has basically cleaned up the country to run on, let's just use oil as an example. I'm not going to get into all the things because, let's face it, there's a lot of people that have been conditioned and programmed to believe that he's bad because the news is owned and operated. It's a propaganda outlet source for the deep state. Now, these things I'm saying, I know it can turn some people off right away, but listen, if you've suspended your disbeliefs and you've suspended your beliefs and you're walking the middle way, then the things I'm saying shouldn't be triggering you. If the things that I'm saying right now are triggering you with an emotional reaction or an immediate doubt, why is she saying that? What is she talking about? This isn't true. If you have response mechanisms that are like that, then you have programs. And you have programs that have been installed in your way of thinking as your belief system. It's been reinforced, and it's been done so stealthily that a lot of people don't even realize they have them running. So if you feel a very sick feeling in your stomach, just a little nauseous, hard knocks, if you take a deep breath in right now, through your nose and out through your mouth, and you realize that your tummy muscles have been very, very tense and tight, then you still have some belief systems that are being challenged, perhaps. What I'm suggesting to you isn't to believe me. I'm simply stating facts that are out there. You may not see these facts in the news because the news is a propaganda machine. We know they're censoring. Why would they censor something unless it was threatening their narrative, their agenda, their way of life? They want you to believe a certain way. Why would they ever challenge something that opposes them? because it could be dangerous to their democracy, we've heard. It's threatening our democracy. It's a threat to our democracy. That is a Project Mockingbird repeated theme that we hear. And I would like to point out, just hang on for a second, hang on. I would like to point out the United States of America was founded to allow the freedom for the people to no longer be the subjects of the king and the queen or the monarchy or any of that. We're no longer subjects of them. This is not a democracy here. You've been told over and over and over and over and over and over and over again that it's a democracy. No, no, no. Our founding fathers based our country and our Constitution, not the Constitution of the Corporation of the United States, capital letters, not that, but our Constitution that allows us free speech. Remember that one? The right to bear arms to protect ourselves against governments that are tyrannical or installed regimes that would want to otherwise suppress people and whatnot. That's why we have the first, the ability to speak freely. It's to further knowledge base of the human race when you're able to debate each other respectfully now. Now, when you start name calling, that's not a healthy debate. Name calling is never a healthy debate. People get angry and triggered all the time, but how do you respond? How do you communicate? We should be able to have discourse. I've had people disagree with me on things I've posted, and I tell them I appreciate their opinion and I respect it. I might respectfully disagree, but they may teach me something. And how am I ever going to learn unless I'm willing to listen? Just like everybody else out there. So we are a republic. Remember the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance, standing up with your right hand over your heart. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Guys, we're a republic. And any politician who wants to tell you otherwise, and they try to twist the words around, they don't want a republic because they can't control you as a republic. There should never be any laws allowed that have allowed propaganda into our country to be used against its own people. There should never be politicians that are in there making money, becoming millionaires, which a lot of the Congress and old-timer rhinos, people that have been making career politicians, millions and millions of dollars, insider trading. The corruption is crazy. Yes, I know some people have been blackmailed. Neither one is good. Republican, Democrat, it's a quarter. It's still 25 cents. It's a lifetime career politician. The rhinos, those people need to go. We need to have everyone who's serving the public, serving we the people who are the actual owners of this country. Anyone who is serving the people need to be audited and they need to have term limits. That's just a given. That's just my opinion, but I think that's a good way to keep our republic intact so that we don't have people becoming rich and making money and greed and power takes over and then corruption and absolute power absolutely corrupts. So we do not need that as part of our government moving forward. So the restoration of our republic is going to be key. It's also part of GESARA, and I think I'm going to do another podcast on that. I know Sacred Warrior Space is not just about ascension. It's not just about energy work. I mean, we're really getting into it. We're in a new cycle now. We're in the second cycle of this podcast, and we're really getting into a very interesting time in evolution, in human evolution. And the leap in the ascension that we're taking, the multi-dimensional leap, is going to show us where we have failed, and it's going, which it already has been doing. It's already underway. It's a process. And it's also going to show us where we've done well And so there'll be more of that. But I would like to suggest that everybody try their best to just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday, and to suspend your beliefs, suspend your disbeliefs, because being prepared isn't just food and money. You might want to get some of your money out of the banks right now, because this week is going to be very telling, and a lot of states of emergency are being declared in Sri Lanka, and there's inflation jumping up, 20% in the last week for them. Food shortages, rolling blackouts. There's all kinds of things that are happening around the world. And if you don't think it's going to come here to the United States, then you're kidding yourself. You've got your head in a barrel, or you're listening to mainstream and only mainstream, because they will tell you everything's fine. Don't worry about it. And if you keep believing them, you're going to be caught. And it's like being caught with your pants down, or being caught outside in the cold without a coat. So you might want to make sure you get your coat, or you pull your pants up and put a belt on, because putting a belt on doesn't mean going out and buying 10 pairs of pants. You don't need 10 pairs. You only need one, right? You need what you're wearing. So don't panic, and take care of your, remember, we're a spirit having a human experience. We have a mind-body system, mind-body-spirit system, that this body is like our car navigating this lifetime. So how do you take care of your body? Yes, pants, food, shelter. We'll say clothes, food, shelter, right? Rest when you need it. But what really helps your mental and your emotional body, your mind system, your emotional reactions to things? What helps that? And I'm going to suggest suspending beliefs, suspending disbeliefs, and staying in the sacred middle, neutral zone. Witnessing, observing, practice witnessing something without reacting, and observe where your triggers are, because that's the emotional cleanup that every person needs to do for themselves. So if you're having strong emotional reactions, you may need to seek professional help, or you may need to sit in a meditation, observe what those emotional responses are, perhaps write them down. And if something is triggering you, I suggest you don't run from it. I suggest you deal with it head on, because that's the only way that you'll get to the bottom of it, is dealing with it head on. Don't avoid it. Deal with it. And in doing so, if you can accept that some of the things you've been told to believe in, or forced to believe in, or conditioned or programmed to believe in, if you can just accept that chances are you were lied to, and you were programmed, and you were conditioned, if you can accept that, then this whole transition is going to go much easier on you as things start to really pop off, because it is going to spill over into the public arena. It already is. You just have to open your eyes. But it's going to get a lot harder for people that have been sticking their head in the sand. So best to be prepared, and best to get your house in order. So again, just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Forgive yourself and others, and observe where you need to do more work on yourself. And with that, I will see you in the next episode. I love you. Take care. Hi, this is Lynda. Thanks for tuning in. If you resonate with this video, or if you receive some benefit from it, would you please consider sharing it? Thanks for your support.